This is Mac OS Ken.
Important updates for Apple Gear. A dead investigation finds new life. And a big silicon move for Apple here in the States. It is Friday, the 1st of December. When did that happen? I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken. Brought to you by yours truly and supported by people like you. Patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/MacOSKen. They're not the big fun updates for which betas have flown, but Apple did release a few important updates on Thursday. The piece from Engadget says the Cupertino company cut loose with iOS and iPadOS 17.1.2, as well as macOS Sonoma 14.1.2. A quick visit to Apple's security updates page also shows the company releasing Safari 17.1.2 for machines running macOS Monterey and macOS Ventura. Updates late in the week. If you're thinking emergency security fixes, pin a rose on you. All 4 of the updates address WebKit vulnerabilities that are apparently under active exploit. In associated notes, Apple says it is aware of a report that these issues may have been exploited against versions of iOS before iOS 16.7.1. Engadget says the security patches cover iPhone XS and later, iPad Pro 12.9-inch 2nd generation and later, iPad Pro 10.5-inch, iPad Pro 11-inch 1st generation and later, iPad Air 3rd generation and later, iPad 6th generation and later, and iPad Mini 5th generation and later. A piece from Bleeping Computers says this week's releases mark the 19th and 20th 0 days patched by Apple with emergency updates this year. An investigation into Apple in the UK is back from the dead. A report from Bloomberg says the Cupertino company faces a revived, full-blown probe into its dominance in mobile browsers and cloud gaming after London judges reversed a decision to block the investigation. If you forgot about this one, you are not the only one. At the end of March, a Reuters report said UK officials had shut down an investigation by Britain's Competition and Markets Authority on a technicality. They had launched their investigation in November of 2022, though Apple argued that the deadline for such an investigation passed in June of 2022. This past March, the UK's Competition Appeal Tribunal agreed. Now, Bloomberg says judges at London's Court of Appeal have ruled that the Competition and Markets Authority acted lawfully with the November investigation. The report says they said the Antitrust Tribunal's decision to overturn the investigation would have had serious consequences for the UK agency's powers. Makes one wonder what timelines and technicalities are for then. The TSMC plant in Arizona seems to have become a bit more relevant to industry in the U.S. Apple issued a short news release Thursday announcing an expanded partnership with Amkor for advanced silicon packaging here in the States. If you don't know what that is, the site AnySilicon says semiconductor packaging involves enclosing semiconductor chips in protective and functional packages to ensure their reliability, performance, and integration into electronic devices. These packages serve as a bridge between the tiny, sensitive semiconductor chips and the broader electronic systems, providing electrical connections, thermal management, and environmental protection. A couple of months ago, the information had some TSMC employees indicating that the plant being built in Arizona meant little for advanced manufacturing in the U.S., since that plant would only manufacture chips but would not handle packaging. A piece from Ars Technica says the assumption was that any chips made at the Arizona plant would have to be shipped to Taiwan for assembly before they could be put in any products. Now it looks like they will be shipped down the road. According to Apple's release, it will be the first and largest customer of a new Amkor manufacturing and packaging facility being developed in Peoria, Arizona. Amkor will package Apple silicon produced at the nearby TSMC fab. When complete, Apple says the new facility will be the largest outsourced advanced packaging facility in the U.S. The release says Amkor will invest approximately $2 billion in the project, which will eventually employ more than 2,000 people. If you're looking for one of Apple's FineWoven iPhone cases, don't bother looking in stores besides Apple's. According to 9to5Mac, they are not there. Not because there aren't enough, but because stores are not carrying them in their physical locations. According to the piece, if you want to walk into a retail store and buy a FineWoven iPhone case or MagSafe wallet, probably needs to be an Apple store. Best Buy, Target, and Walmart carry Apple silicone and clear cases in stores, but FineWoven cases and MagSafe wallets are only sold online. Such was not the case for leather cases, back when Apple still made those. Color options were more limited than Apple's own retail stores, according to 9to5Mac, but leather phone cases and wallets in whatever version of black was used that year were usually stocked. One exception to the FineWoven omissions, the piece says third-party resellers are keeping the FineWoven AirTag keyring in stock. I'd still be curious to know who among you has one of those. For the phone, I mean. It's been a few months. Do you have a FineWoven iPhone case? Do you like it? How's it holding up? Let me know via electronic mail. info@macoschen.com. We'll wrap the day with tools to make shows and a show to watch. For you folks making movies, Mac Rumors says Apple has added features to its consumer-focused iMovie, as well as the more professional Final Cut Pro. The piece says Final Cut Pro for iPad gets voiceover capabilities that let creators record narration and audio directly into the timeline. There are also said to be camera stabilization improvements, new options for combining connected clips, new color grading presets, new titles, and improvements to speed up editing. On the Mac, Final Cut Pro has been updated with organizational refinements. There are also said to be export improvements for Macs powered by Apple Silicon. The companion apps Motion and Compressor were also updated. Perhaps the most exciting update in the bunch was for iMovie. According to Mac Rumors, it gets new options for creating stereoscopic packages for the iTunes Store. But what would people watch stereoscopic videos on? Also, is there still an iTunes Store? All of the updates are free for folks who have the apps already. For the Mac, Final Cut Pro is a one-time purchase of $299. For iPad, it is $4.99 per month. Motion and Compressor are $50 each, and iMovie is free. And finally today, if you're more passive about the whole video thing, less making, more watching, there's a trailer out that might crank your motor. Apple issued a press release Thursday announcing a preview and premiere date for the thriller series Criminal Record. Reminding people what the show is, Apple says Criminal Record is a powerful, character-driven thriller set in the heart of contemporary London. An anonymous phone call draws two brilliant detectives into a confrontation over an old murder case. One, a young woman in the early stages of her career. The other, a well-connected man, determined to protect his legacy. Cush Jumbo plays the young woman. Peter Capaldi plays the older guy. Kinda typecasting, but they are good at being who they are. The first two episodes hit Apple TV Plus on Wednesday, the 10th of January. Subsequent episodes will hit on subsequent Wednesdays through the 21st of February. Betwixt and between, you can catch the trailer on YouTube. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.